No,
the
it was a bird.
I did the
It was
bird.
a bird.
Freaking bird. So stupid. Stupid bird!
You'll know it when you see it.
Oh, yeah, I did. Butthead. That was so stupid. Alright, I'm actually gonna go to this shrine and shoot up and then see if I can go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's just... That's kind of the whole thing, is it's like, I'm tired. I'm just really tired of, like, wanting BYU to lose and feeling good about them losing. I'm tired of watching a Utah BYU game and, like, not even enjoying it because I have so much anxiety that they'll lose, and then like what does that mean, and it like makes you feel bad as like a person. It's like
spot.
The red one.
Well, there's a red spot.
Oh, that's a marker I placed on the map. Yeah. Okay, so I need it this way. Yes. But yeah. Oh, there it is.
All right.
Here I come to wreck the day. Let's dive to our death.
Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're just looking for this, and then you're just gonna kill yourself. So I guess that's fine. Whatever.
Fair enough.
Oh wait, what's that one? Hold on. There's two. Which one do I want?
Oh crap.
Oh crap. Oh, okay. You push the buttons. Okay. So this is the one I was looking for. Then we'll go to that one. Sound good?
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll stay on it.
But yeah, I just so I'm just over it. And look, I know that it's still gonna be a process.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that I'm still gonna like have these thoughts, and it's gonna be easy to slip back into feeling that way. But I don't want Jamie to go through that.
Yeah.
I don't want Avery to go through that. I don't want my kids to feel the way that I feel, and then to have these conversations with people. I want them to be like, yeah, like I root for Utah, and honestly, what I would want their response to be is like, and if you don't want me to root for Utah, like you want me to feel bad, that kind of makes you a jerk. Like you're the one that should be ashamed of yourself right now. Like we don't play that game in our house, and hopefully they'd be able to say that like their dad taught them better.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on figuring out how to enjoy BYU winning when they do win. Like, because like basketball, when like college basketball, I couldn't give two craps about that.
Right.
Like, I honestly don't. Like, BYU beats Utah, and it's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't mean anything. Just like, it was just another event. And honestly, now with the way that college football is, I think that's also going to help a lot. Because what makes it hard is when you lose, it ruins the whole season.
Right.
Because like, especially when Utah wasn't in the Pac-12, you couldn't win. If you lost one game, you weren't going to a Series 6 bowl. Like that was it.
Yeah.
And then when they got into the Pac-12, it was, the competition was so difficult that it was like, it made it unfun. But when now, you could still lose. Like Utah lost 3 games this last season. Had the 12 season, or the 12 team playoffs started, they would have had a bye week into this tournament. They would have been the 4th seed, and then they would have had a bye. They would have hosted a game, and then and if they win, then they would have gone on to. Yeah. And it's like, that's what I want. And they lost 3 games.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. It's like, okay, the first game they lost to BYU, but by the end of the season, losing to
to BYU 2 years ago,
yeah,
right.
And then by the end of the season, it was laughable to think that they would lose to BYU.
Well, the thing was, that's what probably makes BYU fans so upset, is that they beat their rival finally, right? They have a pretty good season themselves. They win 10 games. Utah wins 10 games and a conference championship, and then they end up ranking Utah ahead of BYU. Right. And so it's like, no wonder BYU gets so mad, because it's like, we beat Utah, and it's like, yeah, we don't. People at the end of the season, because it was the first game of the year, people don't care. And like, every single poll, every single one had Utah ranked ahead of BYU.
Way ahead.
And you're just like, and they must be thinking, well, how does that even happen? So like, well, you guys, like, that's the nature of the beast. Right. And so, like, yeah, you did. You beat us on that field. I think if we played again, I think Utah probably would have beat them. Mm-hmm. But it's like, that's just speculation. That's fine. Like, they were the better team that day.
Right.
You know, they hadn't figured out their quarterback situation yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, they lost to San Diego State for the same reason.
Right.
And that's totally fine. Not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and then at the end of the season, it was like, everyone's going to go down saying that season, even though BYU had beat Utah and I think it was actually the second game of the season, that Utah was better. Yeah. Like, that's their perception.
Right.
And BYU ended up losing their bowl game that year, too. And so it's just like, and that's what's hard, because what makes it difficult as a fan is knowing that you really never had a shot at competing for. You didn't actually have a shot to compete with the best of the best. Yeah. It's like when Utah went undefeated the second year, it's like, I for sure thought that we were going to finally get justice and be recognized as national champions. We weren't recognized as national champions for years later. Mm-hmm. And now it's finally in the record book. But even then, it's like, it's kind of like too little too late. And that the greatness of that 08 team and what they accomplished didn't result in the recognition that we deserved, that they deserved.
Right.
And so it's like, it's hard. But now with a 12-team playoff, it's like, you win your conference as a big-time conference, you're in. Mm-hmm. You know, you're in. And again, that goes all the way back to what we were talking about. Mm-hmm. If you can convince Oregon and Washington to be, look, guys, like, don't go to the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. Be the top dog here. Because in the Pac-12, stay in the Pac-12. Yeah. So, like, stay in the Pac-12, have 8 or 9 teams, just stick with that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and you will be the top dog of the conference. Oregon would be the top dog, then Washington, then Utah. Right. And so it's like, be that top dog. Get into the playoff every year,
right?
Or almost every year. Mm-hmm. You won't make as much money. That's true, but if you start winning championships, guess what? You will start winning that money. You will begin to make that money, because people will recognize who you are. And for crying out loud, you are Oregon. Like, you're already making like the strides that you want to make. Like, you already have what you need. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so I mean, there's an argument to be made that, because if they go to the Big Ten, I don't think they'll have what they think. They'll have money, but they're not going to beat Ohio State consistently year after year.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat Michigan consistently year after year. Penn State is good.
Florida.
Like, they're not
Georgia.
gonna. Well, that's the SEC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Big Ten is like Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Rutgers, Northwestern. There's some other ones.
Gotcha.
Nebraska, but it's like they're not gonna be the top dog there. Like, they will be the top dog. They will absolutely be the top dog in the Pac-12.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you can just, there is a reason to do it, in my opinion, to stay packed where they're at. Okay, so this is Ganondorf, and so Zelda somehow got sent to the past. There's like, this is what we think, and these tears that I'm collecting and finding are opening up the story that we don't really know why Zelda got transported back in the past.
Okay.
But that's what all this stuff is. So like when we beat these sages, these temples, our sages talk to us, and then it like gives us the idea of like what's going on. And so the arm that we have that has given us these powers, that was her husband, the queen that was, I guess, dead now. So we somehow have his arm, and that has given us power to do these things. Now we're trying to figure out we're trying to get Zelda back. We don't know where she went. The Master Sword is lost. So that's kind of like that's what this whole thing is right now. And this is story. This is like what's going on or what's happened, at least in how we're getting here. Ganondorf is pretty cool. Love his hair.
You call it Gandalf?
Yeah.
Ganondorf.
So Ganon was the enemy. That's like, so Zelda is comprised of the game Zelda, the main thing is the Triforce. There's 3 pieces of it. One piece is wisdom, one piece is courage, one piece is power. Link is courage, Zelda's wisdom, and Ganon is power. In Ocarina of Time, the Gerudo, so notice how he kind of looks like that girl that I was fighting with in the temple. Like, it's like a male version of the girl of that tribe. So he was born into the Gerudo clan. Like, kind of think of Ganon as like kind of like a spirit kind of thing, like a reincarnation, as you were. So Ganon reincarnated as Ganondorf from the Gerudo tribe, and in Ocarina of Time, that's who we fought, and that's how we get this guy. This you would technically say is the third or the second sequel to Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild being the first sequel. Ocarina of Time was the N64 version of Link of the Zelda series. So that was the first time it went into like 3D, right? So that's like how this all connects. Ganondorf, this guy, honestly, because it's in the past, it sounds like he's the first Himalayan king, this guy with the shield. I'm guessing this guy is Ganon, and then but Ganondorf eventually is, his spirit, whatever you want to call it, is the guy that we'd fight in Ocarina of Time. But so it passes through the whole like Zelda series. It's always this guy, power. He's the Triforce of power. Zelda wisdom, Link courage. And so they're universally connected for all time. So if Zelda and Link exist, so does Ganon. Okay. And so they constantly are in this battle for the, Ganon wants all 3 Triforces, because if you get all 3, you can make a wish to make the world as you see fit. So if he defeats Link and also gets Zelda's piece, the world essentially ends.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is trying to piece all this together. So, and they're out of order apparently. So this was 10, or the 10th scene, but I guess the 8 dragon tier. I don't know. Maybe there's numbers. Do you see numbers on these things? I don't see any numbers, right?
No.
I'm guessing we're gonna see stuff out of order, but because we're just gonna go where we go. Okay, so yeah, so there's 4 temples. We've done 2. I could go and do this one, but because I didn't know how much time I was actually gonna be able to do it, that's why I'm doing this stuff now. And doing all the temple stuff. Okay. So I figure, because then we can I'm doing these tiers, and then the next time either with Cam or with you, then because we got so we can stream longer. Normally do an hour and a half, so 15 minutes. We can do more, we can do less, whatever you want to do.
I'm fine to go a little longer.
So we can go longer then. That's fine.
Okay.
But we can do, these tiers are really easy to get to, so.
Right.
Might as well do them and then continue the other stuff.
Boom.
But yeah, that's my whole diatribe on all that, because football season's approaching again, and there's all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And we both got alarms for 9:30. That's fine.
Gotta turn that alarm off. That's gotten me in so much trouble.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll be in a movie, and I have turned my phone down. I have
thinking that you did the right thing, like you've actually set it where it's supposed to,
and I put it to do not disturb and everything, just vibrate, because Cameron still has type 1 diabetes, and if I'm in a movie and Brianna's with me and there's an emergency with the babysitter and they call me, I gotta know that they're calling and go help,
so
but I have that alarm to say, okay, start getting ready for bed. You're gonna get up early or something.
Right.
I don't know why I have that alarm, but it's set for every single day.
That's funny. Yeah, mine's to check that the sprinklers were turning on. I figured it out. I fixed it, but I still, every time I just forget, I'll forget again.
Yeah.
And it will go off, and then I'll just be, and then the next day I just keep forgetting to stop doing it. Like da da da.
Da da. Yeah. So I was in the middle of The Flash, the movie.
Oh yeah.
And it was like
the new one.
Yeah.
It was a free date night. I've not heard good stuff about it.
It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
Well, saying that is like, well, I eat at McDonald's, and it's not the worst food I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
But it's still McDonald's.
Yeah. It was generic. Let's just say it was very generic. It was just like superhero.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I've heard too, is it's just like, it's not, because I refuse to go to movies anymore like I used to.
Right.
It's like, I don't feel like I can trust, I don't feel like I can trust directors and producers anymore, studios. So it's like, I watch a lot of different reviews of everything now, video games included too now, because it's like I don't want to waste my time and my money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. So it's like there's just so much stuff I'm not gonna go. Well, and especially because Brittany doesn't go to movies really, so it's not her thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go to a movie. I'd probably go to every movie and even hate watch movies.
See,
if I had someone to go with.
Yeah, I went to Top Gun 4 times last year.
Oh, I love Top Gun. Top Gun's so good.
It is so good.
So good.
It is so amazing.
So good.
And then, this year, I'm like, we've been so budget, and inflation has hit us so hard. It's just incredible.
Well, that's what's frustrating is it's like when you think of, oh yeah, the Master Sword broke as well, so that sucks. What's frustrating is like we don't have any way of. There's no reason for me to believe that it's actually going to fix. Like, we're obviously, inflation is going to go down, but because people have shown that they will, that they will pay these prices, even when things because I'm pretty sure there's a crash coming, just similar to 08. Unless it's monumental like that, I just don't see prices going back to the way they're supposed to, because they already know that we'll pay for it. So it's it's almost like we've hit that floor, and for them there's no reason to drop it anymore, because people are not, people are, even though I am a capitalist, but it's like there are things that are, in my opinion, that go too far in capitalism, and one of those things being that we are very profit oriented first and foremost to a fault. Mm-hmm. It's like I feel like we need to adjust with that. I do. I think there's an adjustment that should happen, but it doesn't seem like it is going to happen. And people that are in our bracket, we kind of get fooled into thinking that like the people, the people that are sent to Congress, like they don't. When was the last time they did anything for us, Republican or Democrat? It's like what?
Yeah.
It's like they're not doing it. They're not working for me. You guys have done nothing to help me.
Yeah.
Like all you've done is take away more of my freedom.
Right.
You haven't given me any hope. You haven't given me any reason to believe that like you're gonna help me overcome anything really.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm gonna change this to that.
I agree.
And then we're the ones left holding the bag. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that are screwed because all the politicians and all them, like they, like how when you come out of Congress a millionaire, it's like, okay guys, like we're not dumb. Mm-hmm. Like we know what's going on. Like when we have endless wars and all this stuff, like we get it. Like we're not idiots.
Right.
And it's not like I'm anti anything. I'm not pro getting rid of the military by any means. Mm-hmm. But I am also pro like being smart. It's like, we've had this discussion before. Uh-huh. And wherever you fall on like college education, for example, and who pays for it and why it's a mess is fine. Like don't really care to like necessarily break that down because I think we're honestly even still on the same page together. But when Trump raises, and I don't not like Trump, but when Trump raises the spending on the military, okay, and again, not anti-spending on military, but when he does that, and he raises it more money than what it would take to pay for everyone's college, just as far as like of numbers, it's like, okay, there's something that's like amiss. Like it's not, and I'm not saying pay for people's college. That's not even what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But it's like we are so wealthy in this country. It is shocking how we cannot even, that they have audits and they can't even tell us where the money is being spent. Mm-hmm. Like they don't even know. And then we're sitting here like, just like you're saying, like our lifestyle is being eroded by inflation, and we're just sitting here like what is going on? Mm-hmm. Like why can you guys not figure it out?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's just nonsense. And again, budgets, like it's just, for me it's a very, I take an approach that's very just kind of like opportunity cost. It's like if you want this, you can't have that, and so it's like, okay, if we want to pay for college, then we can't do this. And again, we should have that debate. We should debate it. We should do the merits of it, figure it out. That's just an example. Same thing, you can say the same thing about Medicare. You can say the same thing about universal health care. You can say the same thing about military budgets, whatever it is. It's like, and we just spend like there is no tomorrow.
Right.
And it's like, we can't make choices. We can't, and we just, and none of them are doing anything about it. It's like, I have no faith in any of it. It's just like, Republican, Democrat, none of it. I don't care.
I realized that you can't outsave inflation.
Yeah, right.
And I realized that you can't outsave inflation.
No.
It's not going to work for you.
No.
And it's like, outsave inflation. I'm trying to just save for a house.
Right.
You know, and
right, you're trying to have the same American dream that everyone else wanted and has,
right,
and you can't, and you cannot. You can't.
Yeah.
Like my brothers can't. My youngest brother can't. Like we were lucky because we got in sooner.
When the houses were 150,000.
Well, they were still
one.
This was 213.
Yeah.
So that's still overpriced when we got it.
Yeah.
Still was overpriced.
Yeah. And
that was 4 times my salary.
Yeah.
That's still up to you.
Like it's crazy.
And there isn't a house in Utah.
No. Like
for 200,000.
No.
That's worth anything.
Right.
You know.
That isn't like a fixer-upper in a bad neighborhood.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like it's not even fun to think about anymore. You know, it's not even fun to think of like how close you are to that. And people, and you see all these suggestions from these gurus to buy a rental home and put it in your kid's name, and that will pay for their college by the time they're 18, and they'll be millionaires by the time they're 23. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to just get a home for my kids.
Right.
I'm trying to keep my home for my kids. Like I've
like,
been
like
late
literally
for rent
literally
last
just
2 months.
like literally just the what you're saying is just keeping a roof over their heads.
Yeah.
You're not saying in excess of anything. You're literally just saying a roof so we're not being exposed to the elements.
Right.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And it's like, and my rent is $1,100. You know.
Right. It's not
And
that
it's
much
like
compared
right
to anyone else, but it's still like this situation. Yeah.
and
Right.
and it's like, well, that's a bargain, but I could.
it's
But
not
if
a
I
house.
wanted to move
Right.
up,
Right.
you know, that's $3,000 a month, and it's like my budget barely has 4,000 like coming in,
Right.
and you can't live off of $1,000 anymore.
Right, so now there's no way. Well, yeah, and we even find it's like, so our house value, doubled, more than doubled, right? But it's like,
well, same with
so
ours.
yeah, it's like it more than doubled. But if I sold it, I wouldn't get, because of like taxes and fees and stuff, I wouldn't even make the doubling of it. Like, so it would be less. So then I could take that money and go apply it to another house. But so like if I took the money and then just bought another house in this same neighborhood, I would still be worse off than just staying here, let alone trying to go to another place, and my wages are nowhere near at the level to make the difference. So like when I bought this house, I worked, I was in the 50s. Like now I'll start being in the 60s, but it's like that increase does not match the increase that I would need to pay for the house for a better house.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm stuck. Like there's nothing I can do.
Right.
Like I'm stuck. Like this is it.
Well, that's how we feel too. Like
at least in Utah.
Our place doubled in price, and it's like, okay, great. So it doubled in price, and we could get double. We paid 30. We could probably get 90 around that, and so it's like, yeah, if we could get 90 out of it, we could pay off some of our debts and then get an apartment.
Right.
You
could live on rent. Well, and townhomes are even worse because of HOAs.
Yeah.
So like, if you do the townhome, you're not in a better position.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to be paying HOAs and that BS.
Right.
So yeah, you're no way.
And not very much more. And it's a townhome. Like, I really like our place. It has space away from other people.
Right.
Like that bugged me.
Right.
Anyway, so it's just, you just, like, right now, you feel so stuck.
Right.
And I don't see anyone feeling that hope anywhere in this country right now. And I mean, so
well, why would
I
they?
saw a TikTok today, and they're like, "Well, I was talking to a guy in another country, and they call our president here in the U.S. and the vice president shits and giggles."
I saw that too. I saw that too.
And it was...